Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside.
Scrappers, Tom here. This is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, and I'm reporting this a little remote today, but the information is still valid and still the same. So a bunch of fun things to go over today, a bunch of bad things to go over today. So we'll jump back and forth a little bit. Now, first and foremost, don't forget to post your prices. So if you're out there posting prices, and if we can pull up the price list, we'll show you a couple of cool things that are on there. These prices are being updated every single day by different people. Now, if you're looking at some of these prices right now, you can see Bear Bright prices dipped below $3, copper prices dipping below $3, and some of these numbers are going to be quickly turning red as more people are going to the scrap yards with some of the decreases. But if we could click on one of the metals real quick, we'll show you one of the cool changes that is going to help you know what's going on with the market. And if you look at this graph here, you see how the whole graph is red? That's showing that the entire price trajectory is on a downward trend. So instead of it being just green and you've seen some negative, we tried to make it a little easier. So if there are any other suggestions that you have to help us improve the website so you better understand it, by all means, let us know. Let's go back and look at a copper price that may be in the positive. This will be another cool feature that you'll be able to see. So if metals prices are going up, you'll see here, everything's kind of in green right now on how it's reported. We'll go over some of these Bear Bright numbers shortly. They will start to tick down. We're starting to see that trend go on the downward trend, but we'll talk about copper. But you can see the whole graph here is in green. So if there's any things that you see on the website that can help us improve, help make it easier for you to understand it, please let us know, and we'll absolutely add that into our list of different things. And that goes for videos too. I know that a bunch of people like one of the videos that we did a couple of weeks ago on the different ceiling fans and taking them apart. I know that we mentioned that we have our video series coming next month for the different cars. We're going to be recording that. So if there's any other videos that you want us to see, topics you want us to go over, please let us know. Just leave a comment in the description below and we'll be able to get back to you. So what's going on with these markets? Let's just start with copper. I mean, the chart that you saw there is a little skewed because it shouldn't be green. It will be red. And again, we're working through just a couple of things. We've seen some big decreases in the copper market. July 31st, so that's 17 days ago, copper prices hit $4.01 per pound. Everyone was optimistic. The Chinese were pulling out of their problems that they had. We were going to see some increases in their stimulus. We were starting to see some unemployment numbers going down over there. And what a difference 17 days makes in a new month. Because from July 31st to now, we have seen copper prices drop 35 cents a pound on a trading level. It's about 8%. That's not good, and I just don't see anything good going out there. I mean, if you want my opinion on these things, I put these little disclaimers out there that these are opinions. Everyone that is very bullish about copper is bullish about copper in the long term, right? When we're looking at short-term copper prices, there's not a lot of good going on right now. This is light copper, also known as number 3 copper. You're starting to see some price decreases here. These charts are going to be ones that you're going to be seeing more and more of. And we're going to be updating some of those numbers as we get more of the reported prices in. But copper prices, they're not good. I think today was the 1-year anniversary of the whatever agreement the Biden administration made for green energy, essentially, right? I think it was called the Inflation Reduction Act. What a joke name that was! But they're supposed to be pumping all this money to this green energy sector, and copper prices and aluminum, we're just not seeing this. But what you can start to see on this trend, if you look at these recent price histories here, $3, $3.40, $2.99, $3.11, $3.25, $3.10, right? These are all in the last 2-3 days. $3.33, $3.02 to go a little further down. These trends are going to be quickly lowering. I have lowered prices at my scrapyard about 20 cents in the last week. And if copper prices went down 35 cents and I've only gone down 20, that's to make it not as painful as some of the customers, because many of you complain that the scrap yards will just, you'll go in on day one, day two you'll see prices down either 40 a ton or 30 cents a pound or whatever it is for the item that you're talking about. And that's never fun. So we try to do a slow progression. And one of the ways that you can learn about these markets is really watching these reports. We do them out of 52 weeks a year. We're doing like 48 reports. So every single week you can check out what we're doing. You're probably not going to go and look at previous weeks. People don't really do that nowadays. But if you missed one and you want to see where the trends are going, it's 15 minutes of your time. If you look at insulated copper wire prices right now, we're starting to see those prices going below $1 a pound. We saw for a while those numbers were over $1 a pound. So you're seeing a really solid range here of 90 cents, 85, 88, 90 cents in all these different areas of the country. You're going to start to see lowering prices. It's happening. One major factor, the Chinese were supposed to be talking about a lot of stimulus money. They haven't been talking about. The Chinese are having major commercial property problems. Chinese are having major problems amongst their youth working. All of these things are important because when you have the second largest economy in the world, but more important for this conversation, the largest import economy in the world when it comes to some of these metals, you're just not seeing a lot of good signs coming out there. And these are the things that we look at. So, these markets, not that good right now. So, what is good? Well, we have some new swag. We have a new store that you can check out. We've seen a lot of people buying some gear from our new iScrap store. We have some cool T-shirts. Hustle hard, scrap harder. We have some pictures. There's going to be a link that you can click on as well. So this way you can check that out. So whether you're looking for a phone case, a T-shirt, a hat, here's some of the shirts that we have available. We have safety yellow. We have different iPhone and Android cases. We have different safety orange jackets. So if you're looking for some gear, they have, I believe, from small up to like triple XL. So there's a couple of cool shirts, and these are all limited time shirts. These are not going to be on here for like ever. We're going to be switching these out every few months. So check some of these out. And if there's something that you like, I'd love to credit you and get you a shirt too. So check those things out too. We have that available every single day. Real easy. They'll ship nice and quick, so you'll enjoy that. So let's dip here. Some people have been asking us about some of the aluminum markets. So we'll pull up some of the aluminum prices, but let me tell you what I've been learning about aluminum. As we've seen on a trading level week over week, we're down about 3%. Scrapping level, we're starting to see those numbers really dip themselves down as well. So if we pull up some aluminum prices here, if you look 60, 61, 52 cents, 60, 63, 62 cents, you can just leave it there on the list. It's okay. It makes it easier to see a larger range. You can see some of these numbers: aluminum breakage, bumpers, cans. They're not that great. Even the aluminum copper coils, you're starting to see those prices decreasing as copper prices are decreasing. Now, there are many grades of aluminum, and we've done lots of videos on these. As prices go down for aluminum, as a scrapyard owner, I will just tell you that myself and many other scrapyards stop separating some grades, because when you get to differences in price of 2 to 3 cents a pound, and labor costs now are 4 to 7 cents a pound, it's not worth separating once the market dips below, which is what we've been seeing happening. So what we need is aluminum prices to increase, where 60, 63 is 70, 75 cents a pound, and then that domino effect goes throughout all the other ones. But if we can scroll down to sheet aluminum or do a search for sheet aluminum, we're not seeing great prices on the sheet aluminum markets right now. We're seeing, here we go, 40 cents a pound, 39 cents a pound. These are the averages that we're seeing on sheet aluminum right now. Not a lot of scrap yards are upgrading these. Not a lot of scrap yards are processing these. It's just what's happening. The aluminum markets are unfortunately getting hit like all commodities are right now. And even as we've seen oil prices continuing to increase, we had that great conversation with Mark Champagne a couple of weeks ago, our energy economist. Even as oil has started to increase, we've also started to see trucking starting to decrease. There's almost too many trucks on the road. There's not enough loads to be moved. I'll give you an example myself on how some of the oil prices can affect the scrapping prices. A year ago, I had to pick up a load of material from a customer in a 53-foot trailer. I used a third party broker and it cost $1,450 to move in about 2 hours, maybe 4 hours altogether was the round trip, including unloading time. I did that same load about 2 weeks ago, and it went from $1,450 down to $750 year over year, a decrease of $700. That's not because the oil prices are down. It's part of the reason. It's also because there is a massive amount of work right now, and I've been able to get trucks picking up at job sites faster than I was since pre-COVID levels. The trucking industry has finally opened itself up. Those are some of the reasons that we're seeing some of these prices a little wishy-washy, even with oil markets up there. But the commercial demand, the commercial demand is not there. We talk about this, and I know that everyone thinks that we can kind of unite and hold things. There's commercial scrap that's created. I know a company that's out of not Georgia, in Atlanta. Excuse me, not in Georgia. Okay, they're not in Atlanta. Every day, they produce 8 to 10, 30 to 40,000 pound dumpsters of scrap every day. That's 2, 3, 400,000 pounds of scrap every single day, and this is one of 7 locations that they have. Now think about that. One company could be producing 1 to 2 million pounds of scrap a day. They might be able to have an impact on the market because whoever they're selling to is really relying on that feed. But scrap yards, unless you're selling them 300,000 pounds a week, it's really hard to squeeze some of these prices on markets that are continually getting battered. I got some update on steel prices the other day, and the market went from light iron 2 weeks ago was around 230, went down to 218, up to 225, down to 212, back up to 228. Weird numbers, right? Normally dealers don't like to deal in weird numbers, 212, 228, 215. They like nice even numbers. 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 5s, 15s, 25s, 35s, even numbers, right? But when you don't have spreads moving by $10 a ton, they might only be moving by $5 a ton. These are some of the things that happen, and these spreads get changed. The markets and the spreads get thinned out, and some scrap yards that are really hurting, which many, believe it or not, are. I'm not asking you to feel bad for them, but they're going to start getting a little less aggressive with their price increases. But if they do get aggressive, it might start to seem like weird numbers because there's not a lot of stuff to play with right now. So if you like what you're listening to, not only do we have this video coming out every week, we have other updates that come out on YouTube, and we have member only videos that come out where I give you a little insight that only the members get to see my opinion on these things and what I'm kind of absorbing. What's nice about being a scrapyard owner, being someone that talks to so many scrappers all the time, someone that's trades metal, does commercial jobs, I get a really good kind of thumb on the pulse, right? A feeling of what's going on in these markets. And I don't see a lot of optimism right now. I read a bunch of articles about large commercial banks that are getting ready to scoop up huge amounts of real estate in the commercial sector, both in the office and the warehouse sector, because they just think that things are overinflated right now, that the interest rates are going to be changing so drastically in the coming months and really 6 to 12 months from now that we're really going to start to see some problems and some cracking in the foundations of what's going on. And that's going to affect scrap because if there's not going to be a lot of industrial rework, it's going to be kind of repurposing and buying things cheap. You're going to have an issue long term on what these scrapping prices and markets are going to do. Oil prices have continued to slow themselves down a little bit, right? First, pretty much July, we saw increases. And I know that I think 11 or 12 states are already over $4 again. And that's probably going to hit about 15 to 16 states by the end of this month. we're looking at a lot of these markets and we just don't know what's going on. Let's take catalytic converters, for example. Let's pull those cat prices up. rrcats.com continuing to sponsor our weekly segment for the catalytic converters, providing free price quotes, 10-day price lock guarantees, and free shipping on all OEM catalytic converters. But if we look at some of these average prices right now on rrcats.com, we'll pull these up. We're looking at national averages on OEMs at $82.50 per pound for each. $82.50 each. That is pretty bad. Could you click on that national average real quick? When we look at that national average and we look at the charts over at rrcats.com, look at what it's done just since June. Beginning of June, $95. Today, we're looking at $83. Every single week, all summer, you've seen decreases, a couple of small bumps up, but this illustrates what's going on in the auto sector right now, because the auto sector has a gluttony of extra cars. I recently had to buy another pickup truck for work. Our other one was 14 years old, had too many problems. I went to order it because there was none on the lot, right, that I needed. I needed a small Ford Maverick, and they said it'll be here in 3 months. Well, a year and a half ago when I asked about it, it said it was 18 months away. That just shows how quickly they caught up. And they have so much extra palladium, platinum, and rhodium on hand that a lot of these precious metal prices and these cats that you see here, their prices are just going to be continuing to decrease. So many people that were holding on to cats for, really April, May, June, when they started to see that market continuing to dip down, they started to unload them. And that's really what's happened in the catalytic converter industry, because guys that move cats full time for a living, they're not holding on to thousands of cats at a time. They only have so much cash to turn and burn. Yes, there are some big companies out there that have bigger pockets, but if you're looking to get $200 for a GM Flow, like a 25160 to something like that, those are gone. But at least through our cats, you can get steady price quotes, check out thousands of Google reviews, have a price that's locked for 10 days. So even if the market does go down, you have 10 business days to send that thing in with a free shipping label. So it makes it very convenient for you to be able to do. So let's go recap real quick. Some of these markets, what we've seen in the last few days, we saw a lot of people talking about some aluminum prices. They're not going to be that strong. We saw some people that really enjoyed one of those ceiling fan videos. So please let us know if there's other videos you want us to talk about. We'll do that and show you how to make money from those different items. And one last thing, we know that there's a few yards that have had some problems being accessed. So if you have a yard that you normally like to tune into or report prices on and you're having a problem, please just shoot us an email, info@iscrapapp.com, or even comment below in the thread. Just say, hey, ABC Yard and XYZ town, we're having a problem on there. Let us know. We will immediately be able to fix it. With thousands of scrap yards and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pages on the website, it's impossible for us to catch every single glitch. That's the problem with technology. That's why I kind of like scrap sometimes. You pick up metal, you put it down, you know where you left it, or at least you hope you know where you left it. If you have a question for me, if you have a question you want us to go over with the markets, let us know. Our email is always open. Our comments are always being read, and we try to respond to those every single week. We had those cool changes with the charts going from red and green. That was user generated feedback, made it a little easier for people to be able to see what it looked like. So any other ideas or comments, let us know. Again, today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. Until next week, scrappers, I'm Tom, and I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out this scrap video. For more exclusive scrap video content, please become a YouTube member of our channel today. Thank you, and I'll scrap you later.